Just showed up.
Okay, you're now live.
Oh. There we go. We got Joe. John, Kelly. Well, it's 8 o'clock. I'm going to call the Transit October 13th meeting to order. Roll call. I have all board members present except for Robin Sweeney. Guess we need approval of minutes.
Make a motion, we approve as presented.
Chuck made the motion, Brian seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed? Minutes pass. Public hearing, none. No items placed on the chair. Staff reports, it's on to Austin.
All right. All right. Got some good updates for everyone today. Transit Committee meeting 10/13/21. Agenda today, talking about ridership, the Stout route, which has been back in the swing for about a month and a half now. Ecolane, our dispatch system. Quick overview of where we're sitting 8 months into our financials, so 9 months into our financials. How our compliance site review shaked out, a quick staffing update, electric bus updates, and then any questions that anyone has. Ridership. This is a little bit different from what I sent out in my agenda last Wednesday. We actually have better numbers than I thought on the Stout route. Anyways, doorstop and Red Cedar ridership increased from 403 in August up to 473 in September, which was good to see. It's an increase of double digits up to 15%. And then back from July to August, it decreased from 446 down to 403, down 10%. So even up from July, about close to 30 riders, which was good to see here in September. Community route ridership increased obviously from 133 in August to 586 in September. A lot of that was for the Stout supplemental that the community bus does. But we've been seeing a lot more students take the bus to Walmart, take the bus to Dick's Fresh Market with that on the route now. So that's been great to see. So great increase with this new 1 hour route that we've had live for a few months. And community ridership from July to August decreased as well. So kind of a big decrease all around in August compared to July, but it's all back up in September. And then Stout ridership was 6,700 or so in September. Looking at this, the Stout SSA reps put these 3 pamphlets kind of and brochure looking documents together for us. We're just going through the final stages of reviewing these, and these are actually going to be printed on vinyl in all of the Stout bus shelters. It talks about how to get on the bus, riding the bus. That left document has QR codes on each route. as well as the ride systems QR code in the top right of that left document, and what bus you should ride. It even talks about the doorstop bus for that route. And on the right side of the screen, this talks about the different schedules that the Stout route has. And then the community route as well, and the map with that. So we're just going through with a fine tooth comb anything else that we'd like to change or just change the verbiage on before we get these printed out at the Stout bus shelters. And we'd like to put these in the community shelters as well for the stuff that pertains to that. So thank you to them for putting this together. And hopefully soon you will see that at the shelters, as well as at the shelters last Sunday. We had a small window cleaning business come out and clean all the shelters for the first time. So that was great to see. I was glad I was able to track somebody down. There aren't many window cleaning businesses around the Menominee area, so that he did a great job and is very reasonable and did a heck of a lot better job than us with a thing of Windex. So that was good to see. Now we'll do it a quarterly thing or when it needs it. And now we know the process of it. Ecolane updates. So as I said, in the August and September meetings with all of our routes going over to this compared to back in the Stone Age pencil and paper kind of thing, we had a few growing pains with this in the month of September, just with the volume of ridership that the Stout brings, that we've had fixed routes on this software since June, but the distance between Red Cedar Hall and the clock tower, and the way that Ecolane had their software refresh every 60 seconds, we were having some issues with riders dropping off or staying in a queue and not showing up till one stop later kind of thing. And it was really confusing. And we went pretty deep in with their software team. I think we're kind of one of the pioneers of using this for such a heavy volume based fixed route software. And they changed some things and it's been flawless ever since. So making lemonade out of lemons is what we did. And we're excited that we had a little bit of a responsibility in getting it working correctly, and hopefully for the other transit agencies that haven't used this yet and maybe use it in the future, they won't go through what we did. Financials. We're about 8 months through the year. There's some September bills in month 9 for AR that we have coming in that we haven't been paid for yet. So that's why I'm saying 8 months. But through where we are now up in the top, that's our consumable budget versus what we did consume. We're sitting pretty well. With that, we only have one staffing bill that's in the middle of being paid right now. And that's 20,000. So that just takes it down a little, but still looking very well for some carry forward for next year. On the budget side of things, for our revenue, everything is pretty standard in what we get every year, not much changes. So what I did highlight in purple there was our passenger fare revenue for the year. And through September, we were sitting at 23,000. And what we got in 2020 for the whole year was 28,000. So we have for the month of September another 2,000 that are sitting out that we just sent out to the agencies to be paid for passenger fares for the specialized transportation, as well as we have a couple weeks of deposits sitting at the transit building here that go in tomorrow for the bi-weekly deposit. So we're sitting pretty good. Our actual revenue from passenger fares in 2019 was 45,000, and that's what this budget for 2021 was based off of. And for the lull that happened in 2020, for the total to be 28, for us to already be close to 27 with these deposits that'll be coming here in September, I think we'll be in the low 30s to mid 30s when the end of the year comes complete. So it's good to see that it's an upswing from last year. And other than that, Q4 or Q3 numbers have to be in before the end of this month. And I just got an email from the WisDOT agency about the last payment of our top line item there. Should be coming through after that. Compliance site review, we went through this in May. Really slow process with getting back the results, fixing results, submitting the results, and getting the sign off on it. This is just the email snip from the corrective action plan signed saying we have satisfactorily addressed the 5311 compliance review findings. So good to roll there. Staffing, we went through this last month too, just a couple changes. Our operations supervisor, John, in my old position, mostly went back to driving currently. Now I cover lunches in the Red Cedar bus shift Monday through Thursday, 10:30 a.m. to about 1:30 p.m. and fill in 2:30 to 3:45 if we need it with where we are at for drivers. So if I don't send an email back right away, I might be out on a bus. We currently have 5 drivers, 3 dispatchers, and 2 are also drivers. The team, again, could use one more driver. We lost one a few weeks ago for the first time since last fall. And we are interviewing another driver on Monday. So it's a bit of good news there. Electric bus update. There's a lot of words here, and I took this from our meeting with Thomas, who put all these together. So we'll just go over a few things that actually pertain to Dunn County itself, but there are some pretty good pieces of information here in these pretty wordy slides. But to see how long this electric bus process has been, this dates back to the spring of 2018. Q4 of 2018, we began meetings and calls with individual agencies and WisDOT regarding routes, deployments, and charging infrastructure planning. Brings us to Q1 of 2019, the route planning and analysis for Bad Rivers in Dunn County. In July of 2019, WisDOT sent the award letter to Dunn County. Q1, the FTA informed Starcraft, our bus chassis manufacturer, that they apologized for the delays and acknowledged our multiple requests for a date and informed us they're very inundated with multiple activities. March 2020, they got the notice to proceed with a full test, and in Q2, a little bit later, COVID pandemic shut down the Altoona testing site based on the stay-at-home orders of the governor of Pennsylvania. Q3, facility still closed, and later in Q3 reopens for testing. So all those buses and manufacturers that had buses ready to go created a huge bottleneck with this. June 21, Starcraft confirmed decision to continue to be the final stage manufacturer on the Altoona test for the Starcraft Phoenix shuttle. Phoenix received purchase orders for shuttles and chargers from Dunn County, and September and October 21. They're still completing electrification process and to commence pre-testing. So the buses are slated to be delivered in November for full testing. showing that we had all of our ducks in a row here. Here are the outstanding tasks and delivery dates for the Lono project through the FTA. The purchase orders for Dunn County for the shuttle and the chargers were both done on 6/8. And Bay Area Transit got one of theirs done in April and the shuttle one done in August. And nobody else has put together one for theirs. And then the tentative timetable for delivery at the bottom, the shuttles for us, January or February of 22, and the chargers for us, last time that I was told were shipped out, but then when we had this meeting, they said they hadn't been shipped out and the 25 kilowatt charger was discontinued. So we finally found a suitable replacement for that, and I sent the email back to Thomas saying we could proceed with the one they found in place of it. But BART, Bay Area Transit up in Ashland, they received their chargers and they are installed, and they had a few hiccups with not having user manuals and stuff like that in there. So anything that they learn the hard way, we will be in better shape for when these things do get delivered. A few other tidbits, slides here. Little interesting. It's been a while since we've actually talked about the buses themselves. Just some of these comparisons for the cost of ownership for these buses. When we do receive them, cost per mile is about 12 cents compared to 50 to 70 cents for a gas bus. And a quieter, smoother ride experience. Interior noise levels reduced by about 10 decibels when compared to gas vehicles. And interesting thing that I didn't realize, no gear shifts. So that was interesting. One of the other few upsides for this taking so long is we actually have an improved battery compared to the bus that was originally spec'd for us. The original battery that was going to be in these buses was around 105 kilowatts. Since then, technology is improving all the time. So they've actually installed these 125 kilowatt batteries in our buses, which makes it a little bit more feasible to get fully through our day routes, and for sure able to do, for example, the Stout PM route with these buses, or the community Saturday route. So that was good to know too. That's about a 20% better battery. Questions?
I got one, Mr. Chair. Austin, where did you get the other chargers? And are they the same that Bart put in then, or did Bart get the original ones?
I believe he got two 25 kilowatt ones. With what he deals with up there is he'd be in peak, I guess, Surge XL, where it would outweigh the benefits of it. So he needs to do the trickle 25 kilowatt chargers. And I don't know if they are the same ones that we're getting. I don't know if it was the same manufacturer or not, the same 25 kilowatt ones, but this one that we're getting is manufactured by Phoenix itself, I believe. It was going to be manufactured by BTC. We are still getting the 50 kilowatt BTC charger. John, my operations guy here, he went through the specs of the 225 kilowatt chargers, the discontinued one that we were going to get, and then the one we did get. And it actually is a little bit, it specs out a little bit better than the original one. And they are honoring the same price. And it looks about the same. To me, it looks just like a different logo slapped on it. But that's the information I have on that.
Thanks, Austin.
Any other questions?
I got a question. Austin, any talk about that municipality that dropped out of the program and acquiring one or two more buses?
Yeah, so I'm going to bring up my slide on the other screen here. In that last meeting, we did not talk anymore about the second pair of buses, but it was on Thomas's slide there where the deliveries for the Wisconsin DOT, there's those two to be determined table cells in there with two more buses. So I'm hopefully optimistic, but I could have an answer for you better, I think, next meeting, and I'll touch base with them. The one thing that I would like to ask in this meeting too is, with this timetable keeps getting sent back a little bit, but it's sitting right close to the end of the year. Right now, we have our capital budget correct for these to come in this year. It's right on the cuff. Right now, it's looking like January, February, and we don't, want to technically pay ahead of time, but I feel like this might be a bit of a cluster to try to get through with, us being in the second stages of the, the final stages of the county budget for 22. But the direction that I got earlier this summer was to keep it with not putting it in the capital projects for next year with what we were seeing for this year. So I just want to make sure that I'm on the right track for, and maybe Paul can touch on this.
With your indulgence, Mr. Chair?
Yes, go ahead, Paul.
Yeah, Austin is correct. When we have capital projects that don't get completed in one fiscal year, we do a carry forward. And those carry forwards are usually approved by the county board in March. So it's correct not to include it in 22, and we'll handle it as a carry forward.
Okay. It makes you feel at ease a little bit. So we're anything else for me?
Any other questions? I'm seeing none. Item 7, none. 8, none. I guess that's it. If there's no other questions, we will adjourn the transit meeting at 8:22 and on to Kelly for highway.
Being
Thank
none,
you,
on
everybody.
highway, I'm leaving.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming, folks. I'm sorry about the repeated getting up. I have a new kitten in the house, and he's very interested in the giant pile of cables associated with my meeting. So there's been a certain amount of grab kitten, move kitten, stop kitten from chewing on cables. We are noticed, so we can start at 8:15. So we may as well go ahead and call this meeting to order. Let me see. Looks like everybody is here, plus a whole lot of folks, various staff and others. Approval of minutes.
Make a motion, we approve as presented.
Chuck
I'll second it.
moves. Randy seconds. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Public comment. Do we have anything, Krista?
No public comment.
Thank you. So on to our review of the performance of the highway commissioner. We will need a motion to go into closed session for that.
So move.
Brian moves.
Seconded.
Chuck seconds. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Need a roll call vote.
Yeah, this needs to be a roll
Oh,
call
sorry.
vote.
My apologies. Randy,
Yes.
Chuck,
Yes.
Brian,
Yes.
Joe.
Yes.
Dave,
Yes.
and I am also a yes. Motion passes. We are now